There is someone who sits above the world government, above the Gorosei, above the celestial dragons, above every king, every admiral, every warlord who ever thought they were powerful. His name is Imu, and for 800 years, Imu has controlled everything: history, memory, life, death. Entire islands erased like they never existed. But here's what nobody asks. How? How does one person hold that kind of power for that long? What deal was made? What was given? And what was taken? Today we're going deep into one of the most terrifying concepts in One Piece lore, Imu's Covenant. And we're asking a question that will completely change how you see this story. What if Luffy had it instead? Let's start with what we actually know about Imu, because the anime gives us more than most people realize. 800 years ago, the world went through something called the Void Century, a war so devastating, so world-altering, that the winners did something almost unthinkable. They erased it, they destroyed every record, banned research into it, created the poneglyphs specifically so no one could read what little remained. They didn't just win a war, they deleted it from history, and out of that erasure came the world government. 20 kings, one agreement, one empty throne, a symbol that no single person would ever rule above all others. Except someone does. Imu sits on that throne. The Gorosei, the 5 most powerful figures in the world government, kneel before them. Not reluctantly, completely, with total submission. This means Imu's authority is older and deeper than the world government itself. It predates the agreement, it supersedes it, which leads to the theory at the heart of this video. Imu didn't take power after the Void Century. They were given it during it, a deal. An agreement with something ancient, a covenant that granted Imu the authority to rule, the power to erase, and something that looks very much like immortality. Because Imu was there 800 years ago, and Imu is still here now. That doesn't happen by accident, that happens by design. So what exactly is this covenant? Let's build a theory from the ground up. The Void Century ended with the world being reorganized from scratch. The winners needed a system, not just an army or a government, but a mechanism to keep the world in order permanently. Something that couldn't be overthrown by the next strong pirate or the next rebellious kingdom. They needed authority that was absolute, unchallengeable, almost divine. And that's where the covenant comes in. The theory is this. During the Void Century, Imu made an agreement, likely tied to the ancient weapons, the Lunarian bloodline, and the power now called the Mother Flame, that granted them 3 things. First, near immortality, the ability to persist across centuries while the world around them ages and forgets. Second, the Mother Flame, destructive authority so total that it can erase not just people, but places, civilizations, and the memory of their existence. Third, legitimacy, a claim to authority so deep that even the most powerful people in the world, the Gorosei, who may not be fully human themselves, answer to it without question. This is why the poneglyphs matter so much. The Kozuki clan didn't create them as a treasure map. They created them as an act of resistance against the covenant. If Imu's power was the power to erase, then writing an indestructible stone was the only way to fight back. Every poneglyph is a middle finger to the covenant, and Luffy, without even knowing it, has been following their trail his entire journey. Now, here's where the theory gets really interesting, because Imu is not the only one who carries a covenant. 800 years ago, there was someone else, someone who made a different kind of deal. A promise, not of control, but of freedom. His name was Joyboy. Joyboy made a promise to the people of Fishman Island, a promise he couldn't keep. And before the Void Century ended, before he lost whatever war was being fought, he left something behind. The One Piece, a letter, a will, and a fruit. The Hito Hito no Mi, model, Nika. The mythical Zoan fruit that grants the power of the sun god, the power of liberation, of joy, of a body that is free from all laws and logic. The world government spent 800 years hunting that fruit. They changed its name in their own records, called it the gum gum fruit, a meaningless, weak-sounding name designed to hide what it really was. Why? Because it was the one thing the Covenant couldn't erase. You can erase an island, you can erase a name, you can erase history, but you cannot erase a will. And Joyboy's will kept being reborn, kept finding a new host, until it landed in a boy from Fuchsia Village who had no idea what he was carrying. Emu's covenant says, the world will be controlled. Joyboy's counter-covenant says, the world will be free. Luffy didn't inherit Emu's power, he inherited the opposing promise, and the entire story of One Piece is what happens when those two covenants finally crash into each other.